Alrighty, so hello and welcome. For the first time, we will really be in our 3D application, in this case Cinema4D. I think it's really one of the most easiest 3D applications on the market, definitely. I think the whole menu structure is really cleaned up, so you can find things really easy. What we will try to model is an iPhone 6s. We will not try to model it completely because I just want to show you the basics of sub-D modeling, which are really important for you if you really want to have the iPhone 6s as a model because you want to do something for your portfolio or whatsoever. I can give you a link where you can download it for free, a complete iPhone 6s, and then later on with the later lessons you can start to shade it on your own and maybe make something for your portfolio, maybe a little animation or a product shot or whatsoever. Also, what I want to say about modeling, I think modeling is really essential, and this is why it's also the first thing that we will really do in this complete course, because yeah, as soon as you might get a model from a client or something like that, you might have to fix it, and then you really need to know how to wrap your head around this whole problem and see how you can fix it. So I think it's really important. Also, if you want to model your own stuff for your portfolio or whatsoever, you definitely can't get around sub-D modeling then. What I also want to say is that a lot of clients these days scan their models that they want to have. Last time I worked for an agency that did a job for Nike shoes. They had the complete model scanned, also with textures and so on and so on. So I didn't really have a lot of work with that, to be honest. This is pretty common nowadays because scanning is really good and really easy, and I think it doesn't cost too much, and you get an absolutely accurate model, which is probably, I think, will definitely kill some modeling guys in the future that only do modeling because scanning is just simply too good. And beside this scanning, it can also be that the client, of course, provides you maybe with a model that is not scanned, of course. But like I said, I think it's really important that you learn the basics. So when you have opened up Cinema4D for the first time, I think the first thing you want to do is that you hit Control D. Or this might be already open when you open it up for the first time, and you want to set the project scale to centimeters. So we also want to really work in real life space as possible. So that means if an iPhone, I don't know, is maybe 10 centimeters high, or maybe 12 centimeters or 15 centimeters whatsoever, we definitely want to work as accurate as possible, because as soon as we start to render out our stuff later on with render engines, they can really be picky if you don't work too accurate. Let's say, I don't know, the iPhone might be okay, but the scale is so high that the iPhone is maybe 2 meters or 5 meters big or whatsoever, then you might run into some problems later on. What you also want to do is go here to edit preferences, and then set this here, I think here under units, you also want to set here the unit display to centimeters as well. And then we can start working. If you want to work with millimeters, that's fine as well. You can set both things here to millimeters. I most of the time work with centimeters. It just simply works out for me. If you think millimeters is better for you, then just simply change it. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. So we have some fancy buttons here. This is here the model mode, so this means as soon as we drop in here a cube, let's hold down the left mouse button, and let's just simply release it on the cube. You can see we get a cube here in the viewport. Hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and the left mouse button. We can rotate, middle mouse button, we can pan around, and that's most of the time all you need, to be honest. If you scroll with your mouse wheel, you can just simply zoom in and zoom out. And that's pretty much it. So we just simply need that, and some zooming, and that's really it. Then we have these nice axis handles here, of course, Y-axis, so we can move this object up and down, Z-axis, back and forward, and our X-axis here in red, left and right. So these are really the basic movements that you need to know in Cinema4D. Like I said, really easy, and you get so fast into it. When we jump here into point mode, first of all, we need to make this cube editable. Before that, we can't really do anything. So we just simply hit the C key on our keyboard This is the shortcut for making it editable, and I would really recommend that you at least learn some shortcuts, because it will really help you to improve your workflow. I will always try to mention them. So in this case, just simply hit the C key on your keyboard, and now it's editable. As you can see, this cube here has changed a little bit from this logo to this, and this means now we can work also with the points here. So if I click here on this point and then start to moving around, you can see everything is moving here. Really simple stuff. We can also select more points, of course, so we just simply hold down the shift key as soon as we have selected one point, and select this one and maybe this one, and then we start to move those 3 points in this direction. As you can see, we can move those 3 points all at once. Okay, so let's go back. Let's click here on this undo button. And what I would also recommend, by the way, before I forget it, jump into preferences and go to memory, and maybe change the undo depth here from 30 to 100. I mean, you probably will never go 100 steps back, but in some cases, you know, you just want to be safe. You just want to have enough place to go back enough steps if you made a mistake, and you might don't haven't saved the file. What you also can do is you can set Cinema4D that it saves at a given amount of time the file to your hard disk. So I think we might even set, no, I don't think we can set this here. Just a second, I think here files, and then we can go here autosave. Then we can give here our path, let's say user directory or project directory, wherever we have saved this file for the first time, or custom directory, and then you can say, okay, I want to have it saved all 2 minutes to my hard disk. And then you can also set a limit for the copies. So as soon as it reaches, as soon as it has reached, I think 10 copies, or have it saved 10 times, I would just simply stop with it. I would probably just simply tick off the limit and then just simply let it save maybe all 2 minutes or something like that. Might can definitely help if your model or Cinema4D might crash or something like that, that you have, I don't know, really a file that is close to your last step that you worked on the project. Okay, then here we have also line mode. So this means we can select here the lines or the edges of the project, and then we can just simply move them around. As you can see, so nothing fancy, same stuff as before. Just simply hold down the shift key if you wanna move them around. As you can see, works like this. Let me just simply change this a little bit back. Okay, perfect. And then we have the last mode, the polygon mode. This means we can select those polygons and then just simply move those around, or those two. You can select those two and then just simply move them around, as you can see. So nothing really special, but these are, like I said, really the basics. What you also can do, which will be later on really important, is let's stay in poly mode and let's click this cube here, this side here, and let's do a right click. And as you can see here, you have all those shortcuts behind all those fancy buttons here. So you might can remember them as well if you really want to. And let's click here on extrude. What we can do with extrude is just simply extrude this here, as you can see. So that's really easy. What we then can do is just simply hit the T key on your keyboard, and then just simply scale this in here maybe. And then we can go right click again, extrude, and then we can extrude this here again. What we also could do is just simply do an extrude inner. Then just simply left mouse button in the viewport and then just simply extrude it in. And we can go extrude and extrude it out. So these are really the basics. What we also can do, we can do cuts on our models, of course. So let's go to the knife tool. We have some options. What you definitely want to get rid of is restrict to selections, because as soon as you have this ticked on, you're really restricted always to the object that you have selected. So if you are in poly mode and have this selected, this means we can only cut on this selected area here, which I don't really like, to be honest. I don't know why this is by default enabled, to be honest. So let's tick this off. And then we have here line mode. So right now I can cut in line mode. This means I can just simply go here with my mouse, left mouse click here on this line, and then just simply move it downward here release my left mouse button, then and you can see we have a cut here. So this is the line mode. Then we have the whole mode, problem mode I will never really use, to be honest. I don't even know, as you can see, you can just simply click here 4 times and then we have cut a hole. I don't really think it's a good tool, to be honest. I think I never really touched it, to be honest. So let's click here, click here, click here, click here, and click here, and then we have a hole. I mean, it might come in handy at some point, but I don't think it's really accurate, to be honest. What is really, really good, and I think what we will use the most, is loop and plane, probably. Loop, as soon as you have loop select, you can see we can move this here around. So let's do a left mouse click, and we have a complete cut around the complete object, which is most of the time extremely important. What you also can do, as soon as you get this white selection tool here, as soon as you drive over a line here, you can hit shift one more time, and as you can see, it will snap. And then we can type in here an offset, let's say offset here of 20%, and then it will snap, and then we just simply do a left mouse click, and we will do exactly here a cut. We can do the exact same thing again. We can go here to this edge, click shift once, and then we say offset, I don't know, 50%. So we are exactly between those 2 lines, and then we do a left mouse click, and we are done, and we have this perfect cut here. Okay, alright, so I think these are really the basics. Another thing that I want to show you is bevel, maybe, what you can do with bevel. Let's go with select loop selection and jump into edge mode here. What loop selection will do, it will just simply try to select a loop based on your model. In some cases it cannot find the loop. In this case it can't, because it's really a simple model right now. But let's select this down here. Let's hold down, no, we don't need to hold down the shift key right now, only if you would like to select more. Let's select this one here maybe as well. Let's hold down the shift key, and then let's go to bevel. And let's just simply go here to the viewport with the mouse, hold down the left mouse key, and then just simply drag the mouse. And as you can see, we can now make here some more edges, as you can see, or at least a nice bevel. And then we can here change the offset, of course, if you want to. We can change the subdivisions, so how many edges we get here. So like this, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on. So this is the bevel tool. You can also change this here from chamfer to solid. You have a lot of options, so you just simply don't really bevel it, but you get at least more lines to work with if you need to. But you will see this really a little bit better when we start out with the iPhone, to be honest. Is there another tool that we really would need? I mean, there is a lot to explain. Of course, you have here a lot, like the polygon pan, you have the edge cut, you have the iron, you have the slide, and so on and so on. These are really not really important things right now, and we will jump into them as soon as we need the tool. So what is really important for you is just simply, I think the R key on your keyboard. This is rotate. You need this, you need the T key. This is the scale key on your keyboard, and you need the E key on your keyboard. This is the move tool, and then you need those 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons on the side for points, edges, and polygons, and the model mode if you want to move the complete object here. Then just simply this drop down menu where you get your basic objects like cubes, cylinders, spheres, planes, and so on and so on. And then the right click as soon as you're in point mode, edge mode, or poly mode. You can do this right click here, and then you have all those fancy buttons here. And then what is really important is bevel and extrude inner maybe, and the knife tool. The rest is definitely also important, but we don't really need it right now. So these are the basics of Cinema4D right now, and in the next chapter we will just simply start out modeling the iPhone 6s, or at least some parts of the iPhone 6s, which are really important for our modeling lesson. And then you will see also a lot of other tools probably. So as we go forward with the modeling of the iPhone 6s, you will also get a little bit more known to the other things that are in Cinema4D as well. Okay, so see you in the next chapter.